over the last perhaps 5-6 years, we've seen a backsliding by many governments who are engaging in what we call the politics of demonization. They are demonizing minorities or other groups who they consider unpopular, and using that as a way to create wedges between people, and hoping to profit from these wedges. The UN is definitely being held back by the governments who are in charge of it. In particular, the P5, the permanent members of the Security Council. If the UN was allowed to do its job to speak up for and to actually defend human rights, it would be in a much stronger position to do so. The best example of that is the failure of the Security Council to refer the situation in Syria to the International Criminal Court. Manifest crimes against humanity, war crimes that should be investigated and prosecuted, but the Security Council is not permitting that due to the threat of vetoes from Russia and China. International law is very well developed. I mean, if it was implemented as it was, as written, the world would be a very, very different place. It would be a place in which people are free from repression. They are governments really do all that is in their power to ensure that they have things like the right to health and the right to work. But that is not in place. So what we're lacking are a couple of things. We're lacking political will by governments to actually, in good faith, fully implement this. Now, to be clear, obviously some governments are doing their best. They are trying to do this, but we see real bad faith by a number of in a number of cases. And yes, the mechanisms are weak. The mechanisms are often there is no enforcement. So there are mechanisms to certainly review what governments are doing and to call them out when they fail to abide by human rights. The human rights treaty monitoring systems, they exist, but yeah, there is the enforcement is quite limited. The protests are achieving change already. Some of them, of course, will be ignored. and some of them will succeed probably beyond the wildest dreams of the organizers. That's how change happens. It's completely unpredictable in many cases. Look at Gambia, for example, where the protests led to a change in government. So yeah, I mean, it's really, we think it is important for people to protest, and they can be sure that over time there will be change. The previous, the year before, our annual report was much less optimistic. This year we're more optimistic because we've seen the situation where an action produces a counter action. So we're worried, but we're positive that things will change because people are and it's only changing because people are standing up to make that happen.